Hi there. In this video, I want to talk about how to use PHP to make a link downloadable. And before I go to that, let me explain the little bit of background on it. So if I have a very simple HTML file and I created an image called star.png and I have created a hyperlink. And the problem is when I click on the hyperlink, it loads up the image. How? Just have a look at it. So if I have this file, okay, and if I click on the hello link that you see here, it's gonna load the link in the same browser, and if I give a blank as an attribute, it will load in the new window or probably in a new tab. But that is not what I want. What I want is quite simple. I click on the hello link and the download dialog box should open, be it any browser. So how do I do that? With HTML. And we are taking the traditional approach here. We are not talking about the modern browsers, because this is a chapter more about backend rather than the front end HTML. Okay, so now we have understood the problem, and the next step is to use the PHP document in order to create a downloadable link. So for that, I have already created a dlink.php, and here you would find I have added two statements. First is the header, which has a parameter called as the content type :image/png inside two single quotes, and that means the content type that is expected by the browser is in PNG format. So if you have any other format, find the content type and attach the right content type, or you can do it dynamically using the functions, which I'm not going to discuss right now. And then a very simple statement called as the read file, which will take the parameter which we have star.png and which was supposed to download, and it will read the file into into the browser's buffer area, and then it can be streamed as a separate downloadable file. And then we write exit because we do not want any other script to continue after this, and this should be our last point. We go back to dlink.html and go to ahref. Instead of the file name, we put dlink.php, and when you click on the link, it takes us to the dlink.php file. Now what is the advantage of doing that? It is a good idea to do this because you can add more functions here. For example, you can say add some authentication functions here, and if the authentication is not right, you can skip this complete step, which is not possible to do if only the HTML file is involved. Okay, and I'm going to save it, but this is not going to work. Let's see why. So I'm going to run this file once again, and we will see that it will actually take us to dlink.php, but still it will open in the same window. So you can see here that dlink.php has been accessed, but our requirement has not been met. So what to do next is to add another set of code, which is this one. Let me copy and paste it in the dlink file just before the read file. So we have to add here. So this is an important piece of information. You have to make the content disposition as attachment, which indicates, and here I have opened for you a definition of the content disposition. So the content disposition response header is an header indicating if the content is expected to be displayed inline in the browser, or as a web page, or as a part of web page, or as an attachment that is downloaded and saved locally. And that is what we want. So the way of writing it is like this: content disposition attachment, and then we have to give it a file name. So we cannot give it using the slash in the file name. For example, if your file name is slash etc slash abc slash start.png. This is not allowed. Hence what we do is to eliminate the slash etc and the slash abc, which in this case we do not have a problem, because our file is in the same folder as the PHP file, but 99% of the time this is not the case. So we're going to use the base name slash and we're going to pass the star.png, which will definitely give us back the star.png. So that's not a problem. So just take care of the escaping of the codes over here and make sure that you write the header file header arguments as it is, as displayed here. Save it and let's reload the link.html and check out if anything good happens. Go back, refresh, and it points to dlink.php, and here you can see, that star.php has been downloaded. So this is how you make sure that the file is downloaded while nothing happens on the window. So this is very useful when you don't want to navigate away from the page and instead create a lot of links which have some link to the file that is hosted on your server but is served by PHP instead. And you can do multiple kind of things. If you have JPG, you can use content type as JPG or TXT or PDF or whatever kind of things. Just make sure that you use the base name and content disposition as attachment. So I hope this was good enough, and thanks for watching, and do let me know if you have any question. I'll try to solve them, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.